Hello and welcome to the Wednesday night episode of the Blitz Pickup. And yes, we have to talk about it, but we will not be overreacting, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to review everything that we heard because obviously we were not on site. So we have to go based off of what our beat reporters said, but also what the Washington Commanders beat reporters were saying. We did not just do a one sided thing. We're going to review the QB battle. We are going to review what our offense looked like, and we will be reviewing what the defense did and did not look like. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very fun. Might be even become explosive based on some guys' feelings. I know that one of the guys does not play for the Dolphins, so it'll be very interesting to see what he has to say after that guy came off of a lackluster season in comparison to his rookie season. But we're about to talk about the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to get into the show. So Tone Lou, let's do this.
Good evening, my good people.
Good evening. Bring the energy. Bring your own energy today.
Bring your own energy to the show. Yes. BYOE, I guess.
Yes.
Bring your own energy. My good brother Lou, how you feeling? You ain't come off the mic yet. You all right? You good?
Hey, Tone Finsanity was good.
What's up,
Okay,
Lou?
how you doing, man? The man sound. We said bring your own energy. He left it at home. What?
Not
I don't even
well.
think I brought mine yet, but it'll come. It'll be here
Well,
soon.
well.
It's such
Listen,
a beautiful day.
you know how we start the show, right? We usually bring up another sport
Yeah.
or just another topic. I want to show my versatility out here. Shout out to Miss Mitchell for the Indiana Fever. Over the last, I believe, 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks, she's balling.
Yes.
um, has the Fever in playoff contention, one of the hottest teams in the WNBA. Everybody knows I am a Fever fan. So without talking about, the GOAT, shout out to Miss Mitchell doing her thing over the last about 3 weeks, almost a month. What happened? Is that not good energy? Did I not bring good energy right there?
I
I
think
was
I
fixing
think
my headphones. I don't know where I was just fixing my headphones, sir. That's all I was doing. Actually, let me check my microphone while I'm at it. How do I sound? Do I sound clear? Good to y'all?
you sound good to
Yeah,
us.
I'm good. I'm good. All right, bet.
As far as can I just address one thing? As far as the GOAT, she has a lot to do to even like start garnering that type of respect for me. Respectfully, I think when you talk about Maya Moore, you talk about Diana Taurasi. I mean, just some of the greats that have come from UConn, maybe even Tennessee, but I don't think any Tennessee player right now can state that they're in the greatest of all time conversation. Um, she has some work to do. She's still young in this game, but I do believe the trajectory it can be there. But there is technically a young woman from New Jersey who she is going to have to answer to throughout her career for the upcoming years. And so far, that young lady from New Jersey has shown her up a couple of times. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Jersey be out here. Hey
Shout
man,
out to y'all, man. We not even 5 minutes in the show. I'm trying to see how Tony spin how them Dolphins joint practice was and put Tutu on a milk carton. Boy missing. I'll agree with that last statement. That young man is on the. We need to put him on a milk carton, put out an APB on Tutu at war because we don't know if he practiced today. Have no idea. Now I wasn't out there. Obviously, I couldn't go to DC, but I heard a question and multiple people that were out there. Shout out to TD, and he asked a couple of people that was out there, and neither one of them knew if he practiced or not today. So yeah, I got to give him that. Shout out to Pops in the building. I will put up that next comment, but I'm not doing that. But shout out to you, Pop.
the UConn women basketball team. That's my dad's favorite women's basketball team.
Shout out to UConn. UConn, they got nothing but legends. But God, now Brianna Stewart, Miami. Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
My favorite team for women's basketball is I Iowa, right? That's where what? Let's get into the show, man.
Man,
Let's
come on
just
now.
get into the show.
Shout out to Big Lou. He said, "What's up, Blitz Pickup? How can you support? Hey, man, you support now by just being over here. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you're talking about monetary, listen, we're not monetized yet. Till we get to 1,000, y'all can help spread the word to get us to 1,000, and then that's all the help we need. Actually, just spreading the word. But sound like Lou ready to get into the show. So Vicinity, without further ado.
Okay, Lou, let's start with you because I'm very interested to see how you're gonna take a stand on this one. Obviously, today there was a QB battle. We all known you to be a Jaden Daniels guy. How do you feel the QB battle went versus Jaden Daniels and Malik Willis today?
They competed. There was a competition.
Oh, now you bring in energy. Now
I
we
get.
get energy.
If it said it, I guess the Dolphin quarterback didn't get the memo that there was a competition today. Jaden Daniels did. Jaden Daniels knew that they were going to be practicing today. Real bullets were going to be flying. Vicinity, a couple days ago when I mentioned this was possibly going to be the worst secondary the league has ever seen, Jaden Daniels made it look like that. And, us Dolphin fans, you know how we do. We made all the excuses. Our Chris Johnson didn't play. Stop. You know who was out there? Michael Taft. Now, Michael Taft been looking like he's an all-star player at practice for the Dolphins, right? When he's practicing against the Dolphins, ain't Michael Taft been making plays?
Yeah,
Hasn't Ethan Bonner been making plays?
yeah, yeah.
Where's all the guys that were making plays today?
Mm,
Or at training camp? Why they ain't make no plays today?
mm.
You know why? Because they're guarding people. Well, that will wait for the next segment. But yeah, they seen real competition today. And real competition lit the Dolphins on fire. That's what happened. Um, Malik Willis, I think, for according to reports, it's what we've been getting, right? Tone's been going to practice. He's been telling you there's some good days and there's some very good throws, just like today. There were some good plays and some good throws. There was also a pick six in there, right? Now, they said it was contested. I don't know how it happened. All I know, it ended up going the other way. That's all I know, right? So what we've heard from Malik is the same thing we've gotten from Insanity and Tone. It's inconsistent at best. It's up and down, is what it is. Um, Listen, as far as the competition, Vincent, you broke news to me. By all the reports I heard, I didn't know there was a competition today. So, yeah. For as far as Malik Willis, up and down, I guess, good, bad, somewhere in between. And Jaden Daniels, I heard, was very, very good. So, yeah, I would say in that competition, um, if we're keeping score, it would be 1-0 Commanders at this point. So, I mean, it is what it is. But y'all got it.
I would say this, just based off what you said, it's funny because the Miami Dolphins just dropped a video on their X page with Michael Taft getting the game sealing knocked the ball away to seal the game for the Dolphins. So he's still making plays.
Game ceiling.
Yeah, yeah. So so they had yes, they had situational football like we always do in practice. Both offense had the ball at the 30-yard line with 40 seconds on the clock, and they were down by 4, so they needed a touchdown. And Jaden Daniel drove them all the way down to, I think it was the 10-yard line or somewhere in there. So it was inside the red zone. And it was the last play of the game. Michael Taft made a game-sealing pass deflection. So he's still making plays. Now, this is what, first of all, if y'all look at my title, right? It said it's one practice. Relax. For me, I'm looking at a quarterback battle. You know what I noticed? And shout out to TD going out there, so I was able to watch live where he give the live reports. Even though I could, TD sometimes he gonna lean toward the Dolphins, but I can tell by what he's saying if we can see and gauge how good or how bad it really was. A lot of those touchdowns they were talking about that Jaden Daniels would lighten us up. You know what it was for sending it, Lou? 7-on-7s. How many times have the Miami Dolphins did 7-on-7s? This whole training camp. Do y'all remember?
Not
Training
many.
camp?
Not many at all.
In training camp. Yeah, in training camp. How many? Zero.
Yeah, like none at all.
Absolutely zero. Why do we not do 7-on-7s? Because it doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, he lit it up. You know who also lit it up in 7-on-7s, but they ain't mentioned that? Malik Willis. He threw 7 touchdowns. 7 of them. I think him and he threw more touchdowns in 7-on-7s than Jaden Daniels did. But it's 7-on-7, so we're not going to talk about that. That means nothing. Now, when it comes to 11 on 11s, Jaden Daniels turned up. But it's interesting, and I'm going to ask him personally, how many touchdowns did they score on 11 on 11? This is the real concern, because yeah, we heard the nice pass. They said, shout out to the Washington Commanders for putting out that, you remember the 70-yard touchdown bomb? Go watch the play. That's not a touchdown. Go watch the play. The Commanders, they put the play. He got tackled. The defender clearly went, tackled him, or would have pushed him out of bounds. Clearly. It's on video. But let them tell it. That was a 70-yard bomb to Traylon Burke. Right? But did Jaden Daniels look amazing? Yes. Not huge completions down the middle of the field in between Lonnie Johnson and I forgot and Michael Taft. Huge completion. That's good. That's getting him in this scoring position. But what I don't know is how many of them was finished drives. How many of them finished with a touchdown? Was he accurate? Completely accurate. Man had a great day. Now, when you look at our quarterback, Malik Willis, yes, he was under pressure all day and missed pressure. Escaping the pocket. Now, you don't hear all this in the media and things like that, but you just got to do a couple research. You don't hear nothing about how many times he scrambled and got first downs. You don't hear how many times he scrambled to save a would-be, segment or a drive, a chain mover. They don't mention that. But you know what you hear? The Washington Commander beat writers. Now, it's crazy because, Lou said it was trash and he's going by the beat writers. But a lot of those plays, when Malik stepped up in the pocket, they call sacks. I saw one person said the Miami Dolphins would have been sacked 50% of the time and stuffed 50% of the time. You want to know what's funny to me? How many times have we seen Devon Achane look like he's going to get tackled in the backfield, make a guy miss, and continue to run, make a positive play? Ample times. But I guarantee you, out there, if a guy is right there or in the vicinity of him, he was a tackle because the guy reached out and put his arm on him. We seen Achane get around those plays all the time. So we can't take it at their word. So to come out and make it seem like they was trash, I just can't do that. I'm not overreacting. Now, did I expect them to be dominant? No. They are exactly what I expected them to be. When you go up against competition, I understand. Now I want to see, you remember my key matchups? I want to see what Chop Robinson do when he go up against other guys. We'll talk about that later. So what I'm not going to do is over-exaggerate because I heard Jaden Daniels was killing this secondary. Did y'all, I'm questioning, did we think the secondary wasn't going to give up plays? Did we think the secondary was going to just shut everybody down and no one's going to catch balls on them? No, there wasn't. There wasn't going to allow no football being caught. And these are situational football type things. So if you look at it from that standpoint, they're putting in certain situations, and for the most part, they're not going to be running these defense. They want to see how they're going to react in certain situations. Did they pass? No, I would say that secondary didn't pass. They didn't pass because catches was being caught all over the place. There was, you seen nice bombs all over the field. But it's Jaden Daniels. What do you expect? That man took his team to the NFC Championship game. I expected him for a young team, first time in live practice. Y'all didn't expect Jaden Daniels to light us up? Hold on. Let's go down memory lane real quick, Facility. You remember his rookie season? You remember that? That was Vic Fangio defense, wasn't it? He lit us up for 6 touchdowns in the red zone. Y'all remember that? Everybody, he was the dude. But that secondary was trash. It was the worst secondary in the world. How did that defense finish? Top 10? I'm just asking for a friend. That same defense that got lit up by this same Jaden Daniels finished top 10. This is why I do not overreact. I would have been more shocked if they came out here and say, "Hey, Jaden Daniel wasn't looking sharp. This defense, whoa, I think we got some on defense." I would have been completely shocked if that would have happened because realistically, I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't. So who had the better day? Clearly, hands down, it was Jaden Daniels. Who did I want to see how they react in live game time situation when they're under duress the whole time? I mean, entirely the whole time under duress, Malik Willis. And I wanted to see how he respond. Of course, you're not going to be sharp. You're not going to be sharp. Have y'all seen Tom Brady when he get pressure on him? What about Patrick Mahomes? What about Josh Allen? What about all the greats? How do they look when they get pressure on them? They don't look as sharp. So to expect Malik Willis to look as sharp his first time as a full-time starter is just unrealistic expectations. So would I like for him to be better? Of course. But coming from practice, as I told y'all, the last 3 practices in a row, he was not elite. He just was he was inconsistent, I would say, when it came to ball placement. When I saw him being immaculate in ball placement prior to. So that part. And then the interception. Y'all do know that the interception was muscled out of the hands of the wide receiver, right? I just want contact on that pick six. It was in the receiver hand. He let somebody snatch it out of his hand.
Who reported that?
That came from Allen and Omar. That was out there.
Okay, cool.
So
I just want to figure out real quick because again, I don't want to call nobody in any scenario a liar. I'm not trying to do that. I got a question.
mm-hmm.
Coach Hafley spoke this morning, and he said defensively they weren't going to be sending no blitzers,
He didn't
nothing
say
like
that.
that. He didn't say that.
No, I
Okay,
heard you.
all right.
I heard you say that, and then I heard if you listen to the collective earlier, they said somewhat similar along the lines. If you listen to him, he said we're not going to be working it because they asked him about installs. So you got to understand the context of the question he was asked. He was like, "No, well, I think we're done with installs. I just want to see what they're doing." So when he said they weren't going to be working on blitz packages, they weren't installing anymore. He said this more about one-on-one situations and how individuals react to certain things. You know who they sent on a lot of blitzes? Jacob Rodriguez. To see how effective he will be on blitzes. And when you send blitzes, what do that do to your secondary? A lot of one-on-ones, or if you're in zone, you got to be able to cover your area because you basically on your own right there. Don't that sound like a position you want to see how your secondary react when you don't have all them linebackers back there and you on your own? So that's what it
Oh,
was more of.
that's what he said. Okay, all right, all
Yeah.
right.
You just listen to what he said, and then and now think about this, and we'll. In that essence, we got a segment for that, so I'll break that down now. But I just want to stick to the quarterbacks right now. So when it came to, Jaden Daniels being under pressure, he made more plays than Malik. His receivers was able to get wide open downfield, because they were sending blitzes. When Malik Willis was under the pressure, scramble. Oh, I either have to run the ball or throw the ball out of bounds or check down. Now, Caleb Douglas made a few catches here and there we're going to talk about later, but these are the situations that he was faced with. So let's pump the brake. That's all I'm saying. Pump the brakes. But go ahead, Persendi, if you want to, and add on to anything.
I'm muted. Sorry about that. I was muted. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna just call it what it is, okay? This was a team, first time practicing together, right? The chemistry isn't necessarily there. You have to develop some of these things, and I do believe having a joint practice is a way to start helping that, but also the preseason games. And I think this is why Tony and Lou talked about, like in the beginning of the season, right? How we expect the offense versus the defense to look when we were doing our record predictions. Make sure you go and check out that segment. We did our early ones. We will be running it back, right, Tone? We will be
Yes.
running it back after training camp going into the
Mm-hmm.
season.
Yeah.
Just talking about the quarterbacks in general, I just want to say, it was great to see, Malik get out there, go up against a defense, that's different. Get different looks, get different I guess situational play and do it against someone in an opposite color jersey. I
Mm-hmm.
think Tony did, and I mean this in the most respectful way, Tony, did all the contextual spinning, but not spinning, but like keeping it in a frame of mind of like this is what the team is right now, and this is what we were trying to do. As far as Malik goes, obviously we understand what kind of player Jaden Daniel is, dynamic, was able to do so much his rookie season last year. Injuries, definitely hampered it a lot, but there was a lot of expectations, for that Washington team because of how he played. I think we talked about it with we expected him, and we'll get to the offense part, but him and his wide receivers to go out there because obviously our secondary is very young. We're still trying to figure out positions and where everyone's going to be. Um, to lose point, both teams played hard. Both quarterbacks played hard, and
No. Oh,
listen, I'm trying to be as chill as possible, and as because it's the first joint practice. And please vote on the poll and hit the like button and subscribe. The poll is: are you concerned after the first joint practice? Please vote. We appreciate all your feedback. I see you guys in the chat. It's a great conversation. But from what I was expecting, I'm going to say realistically, and this is going to break some people's hearts. It's what I expected, so I'm not overreacting, and I don't feel, moved by some of the reports that came out. It's kind of what I thought would happen, and so because of that, I'm just like, let's get to this preseason game. Hopefully, Malik and those guys get to go out there, and we can see something from them. But yeah, it was a fun day to be a Dolphin fan, wasn't it? It was a fun day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go with that. Tone, that's Luke.
Look, football's back,
Yeah.
right?
yes, it is. Yes.
That's a positive.
Mm-hmm.
We get to watch and talk about and hear things and see things from our favorite football team. Again, that's a plus. You know what I don't like, and I'm not talking to Tone at this point or Finsanity. I'm talking to other people because I heard the same thing that Tone just said. I responded to a tweet earlier that said the same thing. Oh, it's just the first joint practice. Everybody relax. Cool. That's a cute story. In the great words of me, that's a cute story. I've never heard, right? Let's relax when people are out here telling me that Malik Willis is elite.
You did.
I've
Yes, you
never
did.
heard. Tone, I didn't say. That's why I said I'm
You
not
said
talking to
never.
Tone now. Who?
You said never.
But he
You said
excluded
No,
you.
but I excluded you. I said I'm not talking to Tone because I know Tone has said that. What about the other people that's always telling me that Malik is he's elite, he's all world, he can do all these things. Well, he didn't do it today.
no.
That's the people I'm talking to. I've never heard none of those people say, hey, man, hey, let's just relax. Nah, it's him. He's Timothy. Oh, he's the one, the chosen one. Oh, we got one. Now today it's, oh, can we just pump the brakes? Can we relax? No, I'm not relaxing. No. Hey, Tone Finsanity, over here at the Bliss Pickup, what is one of our mottos? Let's keep the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the Dolphins, right, is my favorite football team. I love them to death. They lost today.
Yes, I'll agree to that.
Yes.
They didn't get punked. Not like last season when we played Chicago and Detroit. We didn't get none of those reports. We didn't. They didn't bully us. They didn't out physical us. No, 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 no. But our players did not execute well enough. They didn't perform well enough. And I know it's a young team, and again, I know a person on this panel, right, and others, but I'm talking about myself right now. That's all I've been saying. This is a young team. I like some of the moves. We're developing. It's going to take some time. This, that, and the third. What I don't want to hear from other people that's been telling me this team is so great. We're going to do so many things. I don't want to hear, oh, it was just one practice. I don't want to hear that. Because when we've been doing this, all this stuff at training camp against our team, we're so elite. Oh, wait, we got this great team. The first time you seen anybody else outside of a Dolphin jersey, you lost. Point blank period. I don't care how anybody wants to slice it, dice it. It's a cute story. Nah, I'm not going for it. I'm sorry. Y'all can sit here and make all the excuses if you want to. It ain't going to happen here.
So I got it.
You win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day.
Let me speak to the people. See, I'm glad he said, let's keep the same energy. Well, let's keep the energy. It's funny because you got such a low expression for this team. Anything negative, you want to blow it out of proportion. Anything that you hear, you want to say, no. I'm glad you shook your head too, Facility, because you got a negative outlook on this team.
I don't have a negative outlook.
You negative 4.5, below 4.5. Lou probably at 1 now, right? So I think it's funny, but you know what? Let's keep the same energy, because when we hear all of these people pumping up and hyping up Caleb Douglas, don't we say pipe down? They over exaggerating. How many times have we said that? When we hear our beat writers or whoever overhyping, let's just say Chop Robinson or anyone in practice, it's funny. My co-host would say, "Oh man, they selling y'all hopes and dreams." But everything that the Washington Commander beat writer, I guess what they were saying, it was 100%. It was just as amazing as all of them were saying, right?
I haven't mentioned that one thing about no Washington beat writer.
Well,
not one. I haven't said nothing about no Washington beat writer.
What did you get? What Jaden Daniels was playing at? Because our beat writers wasn't writing nothing.
Well, again, I watched that same collective show with Dolphin guys on that panel, and they told me how great Jaden Daniels looked. Well, that's what they told me.
How great? When they say great, what they were saying? He was throwing a bunch of touchdowns.
They said that Jaden Daniels made more plays than our quarterback, and he was lighting our defense up. That's what they said.
And he did. He made more plays than our quarterback. And
so again, I didn't mention no beat reporters from Washington.
I'm saying, well, I'm not gonna say that. When we was in Spicer today, that's all you were talking about was the beat reporter from Washington. So,
well, to be fair,
I'm talking to you right now.
To be fair, well, can I be fair? Can I be fair?
Yes, you can.
During the joint practices, how many tweets from the Dolphins did we see?
0. That's
Dolphin beat reporter. Well, again, so if I'm trying to get information out to the people that's in the space listening, I got to report what's being reported.
Right, but
I also reported during the Washington Commanders. Again, I was just waiting for the different topics. You brought up Chop Robinson. There were some good reports about Chop Robinson. I brought those up.
No, let's just stick to.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay,
let's just say quarterback. What did they say about our quarterback? If you just going on them.
Again, they said, Tone, and I said this up and down, good plays and bad plays. They said their quarterback outplayed ours. Well, I think all three of us up here got the same opinion. Jaden Daniels, out of the quarterback play, won the day. No, I didn't come out here and say Malik didn't complete a pass. I didn't come out here and say that there wasn't some very good throws that Malik had. I didn't say that. What I said was, again, you've said it consistently, right? You've been going to practice. It's up and down. It's very good. It's good. Hey, he's not really performed today. It's good. It's great. That's what we've seen today. That's what I said. It's been inconsistent at best.
Didn't really perform today. So I never said that. I said from the high, and I said his lows are still good. I just want him to stay consistent on that high level.
And I agree with that. Absolutely.
When I called the low, I would say he had 2 off targets. But those off targets should have been routine throws. I'm going to take extra points from him, right? Cool. But I'm not going to act like, because I said, let's just say, let's go to I said 10-7. That means I expect him to lose 7 games, right? So I'm not going to sit here and act like a team, especially with Jaden Daniels on that team that already lit this team up, right? A team with Jaden Daniels on there who had an injury-plagued season wants to make a comeback. I'm not going to act like that. I'm surprised with that. But What I'm not going to act like is, oh man, after the first team, we seen, oh man, this team looked bad and everybody was overhyping. No. Malik was exactly what we say he was, right? Exactly what he said he was. It just you got to do a little extra research and say, no. Malik Willis was actually good. If it wasn't for him, our offense would have looked horrific because of how much pressure he was on. And then the number one hater, since we want to talk about the collective, which is Omar Kelly, went back to, oh no, Malik showed me something today. I was actually impressed with Malik today, especially when I said he's not as fast as the Lamar Jacksons and the Kyler Murrays. He changed his mind. He said, no, not from what I seen today. From what I seen today, that boy got some get up. From what I seen today, I changed my. I'm not gonna put him in the Tyrod Taylor. I'm not gonna put him in all that the disrespectful category that I put in because of what I've seen today. So we talking strictly right now about quarterback play. No, Jaden Daniels had a better day, but Malik Willis has showed some promise. If you want to call it the pick six, I don't care how it was a pick six. It's a pick six. We can stick to that. Pick six is a pick six, regardless of what. But I just didn't want to think, and I'm right now we only going by what they said. From what they were saying, he said Malik didn't put that ball into danger. And it got Russell. He got out muscled for the football. So I'm like, okay, it's still a pick six, but you got to understand the context behind it. Because I would be a hypocrite if I come out on one show and say, when y'all come out here and hear that the defense had 4 interceptions, y'all gonna think the first team offense was trash. But I was there. The 14 offense was amazing. But if you don't add in the context and understand that the 4 interceptions came from the second and third team, you would think everyone was trash. So when I come up here and say, wait, let's actually speak on what we know that came out and not just leave it as blatant and say, okay, there's a general perception they played bad, he threw a pick six, and leave it like that. Then now I'm being disingenuous to our offense because maybe I wanted to seem as worse than what it really was. No, you said keep the same energy. I'm keeping the same energy. It was okay when I gave the context then, so it should be okay now when I get the same context of what actually happened out there.
I'm just trying to figure out who said anything different than what you're saying. Like up here on the panel, me or Vicinity, we said the same thing.
Oh no, not Vicinity. Say you said it. What you did was you said, let me take Tony out. Hold on, you said let me take Tony out, and you were saying that these people was overhyping and doing. I'm like, well, if you think they're overhyping or and being extra and thinking this team is better than what it is, you can't say that on the quarterback segment. Because that didn't apply to Malik Willis. Because that didn't apply to Malik Willis. Because what they said about Malik Willis wasn't overhyped.
People been calling him elite. That's not overhyped. From what you've seen from Malik.
Who called him elite? Now, if someone called him elite, if they talk about elite arm strength, yes, he had that.
And again, he's elite at making plays. I would agree. His arm is one of the strongest arms in the league. It's easily, you want to put him in the top 3? I won't debate you. He's definitely in the top 5 in the NFL with arm talent. I ain't got no issue with that. You said who has called him elite? Salute to my good. And again, y'all know I love my brother. TD called that man elite the day we signed him.
Oh, you know what? That's true. Okay. Well,
so what we talking about? And he's not the only one. Right? So what I'm saying is, let's not pretend like these people ain't out here calling this man elite, and all we've got from him is some good, too great, too bad, in between. It is what it is. And it's expected, Tone, to your point, because this is the first time he's really getting an opportunity. It's his first time to get majority of the reps in a training camp. So I'm not saying it's not expected. What I'm saying is when I hear people say, well, let's pump the brakes. Why? Because we lost today? No. Because when we were winning, no one said, again, no one's been saying pump the brakes. All of a sudden today, now it's pump the brakes. No, I'm not allowing that.
I said pump the brakes. That's why I could rebuttal because I said pump the brakes.
And that's what, and that,
I'm like, hold on. This is why.
Insanity, what did I tell Tone? I'm taking you out of the conversation, Tone, because I know what you've been saying. I said I'm talking to all these other people. Go back on my Twitter feed and see when I told the other person, don't tell me to pump the brakes.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that, and for the people that saying elite, I get what you're saying. I'll say this, and I'll finish right here, because we could talk about Malik all day. Based on how practice went and how the rest, how as much the rest that he was on, he did way better than what I expected. I thought he would have been terrible if he would have been under that duress in a live game situation against a team that don't care if he get injured or don't care how you look. Based on what I heard coming out of practices, I'm more impressed that he didn't have a terrible, horrible practice. I'll say it like that. You get me? Go ahead, Fasan. You like you have something to say?
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
Listen, I mean, this is when things, become a lot more difficult, like, and a lot more, aggravating, right? Because your perspective, right? I can definitely trust your point of view and how you see, because I know you're going to call it objectively and fair down the middle. When we have to rely on, some biases based off of whether it's from the Washington side, and then having to hear the Dolphins people recap later, right? We didn't get a live, tweet of theirs. We're bringing it all together. Lou, do you have anything to say? Because I'm ready to get to the offense.
me too.
Oh, me too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen,
Okay.
it's all three then, because I'm ready to
Oh,
talk about the offense.
okay.
Yeah.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go back. Let's rewind way, 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 way back to when the schedule was released, right? And my co-host Tony stated something, and he gave an amazing reason for why we could win every game, right? And I asked him one
Every game.
important question. Huh?
How
Not
you
every
say
game, but
you?
like every win that you had. Like, sorry, let me put it, for
Oh,
every
okay,
win
okay,
that
okay,
he
yeah.
had us, every game he had us winning, he had a reason
Mm-hmm.
for it. Like a good viable explanation, reason, history, all that, right? Let's call it what it was. It was beautiful research. At the end of all of that, since I took a negative point of view, even though I didn't, because I said this team would be competitive in these games. The other team would just get the best at the end. I don't see how that's negative. It is what it is. I said, what is this offense going to look like? And that was the only question I said. I said, how can you do this and say this when you don't know when this offense is going to look like? Today, I'm not going to say we got a glimpse, because we understand that, like, they're not going to show everything. But Tony, based off of what you saw today from the offense, how do you feel about it?
Now this one is going to be. I'm going to break it down in segments. I saw A10. They're gonna have a problem with A10. So that struggling offense. Mind you, A10 got in the end zone twice. This on 11 on 11s. So with that struggling offense, he got in the end zone twice. Now, Ollie Gordon. Now, from the reports, it was either a 69-yard touchdown run, or 69-yard run, or a 70-yard touchdown run, depending on how you want to spin it. So either he got tackled at the 1 yard, or he got all the way in the end zone. It's training camp. So that's just, you take it for what you want, right? So from that standpoint, I'll say the offense looked exactly how I expected it to look. It's going to be rely upon on Malik making plays, running games. A-Chan is going to be the best playmaker. I just said A-Chan might win Offensive Player of the Year. But here's where the tables, and I think this is where I think all the energy should go. Because first of all, we had high expectations for this offensive line, and I heard they was trash at best. I heard that offensive line was trash. I see you talk about from our beat writers to their beat writers. I saw one of their beat writers said, "Man, I feel sorry for Malik Willis, and I hope he make it through the season."
Wait, 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 wait. Let's pump the brakes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just trying. No, I want you to continue. I was just telling you, Tone, before you continue, you might want to pump the brakes real quick, because people
Oh,
ain't gonna
okay.
like what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? We
Oh,
might
okay. Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
might want to relax and
Now,
pump the brakes.
now, that's why I said I'm gonna set it up in half, because I said this earlier. So I'm gonna say it over here, right? And it's 59 of y'all in the building. Please hit the like button, subscribe, get us to 1,000 subscribers, and just come on back over and enjoy the show. Now, offensive defensive line in these joint practice, those are the people that you can get the most out of, and you can evaluate them to see how far they really are along. Because the only thing I don't know if they're running stunts and twists, which I did see a stunt and twist on one of the highlights, but you can see how they play, because you block, either you rushing or you run blocking. right? It's more simplified. So you can get more information from for the trenches, because trenches are trenches no matter what. No matter what type of set plays you're running, no matter if they want a blitz or they aren't, whether you can pick up the blitz or not. If your offensive line get it behind whooped, that's a bad sign no matter what they're doing. Because if it's vanilla, it's worse than what you thought. If they're running blitzes and twists and stunts, you're supposed to be able to pick that up. So no matter how you spin it, trench play, you can evaluate right then and there, because it shouldn't look bad regardless of what's going on. You understand? Now, if you're doing stunts and they don't know how to pass it off, you can work on that. You get your offensive line ready to learn how to pass off stunts and blocks and twists. Okay, cool. If they run a game on the defensive line, you can learn that. But you still could be worried because, no, this is trench play, my brother. You got to block. And if you're telling me that on every play, for the most part, Malik Willis is under duress and getting pressure, running for his life, what happened with your first round pick, 12th overall, I might add, was a guard, well, a tackle that you transited to guard. Where was he? Now, if I'm going from what I've been hearing from outside and inside, I mean, from their side and outside, everyone except for Aaron Brewer had basically a bad practice. Everyone, you heard something bad about every last one of those offensive line except for Aaron Brewer. He's the only one you look around and be like, okay, I don't see nothing negative with him, right? The tight end room was non-existent. I know y'all know I'm a Will Kazmarek fan. Non-existent. Nothing from the tight end room. I'm talking about Dosich. I'm talking about Kazmarek. I'm talking about Traore. I'm talking about Bill Sims. Nothing from that tight end room. Now, from all reports, the only one that was making plays, Caleb Douglas. And I know I'm going to let Lou focus more on the Caleb Douglas, but I would say this. It's funny. We heard none of Tutu Atwell. I heard one, maybe two plays from Malik Washington. But this is the part that I want y'all to focus on. They were saying Caleb Douglas was making a lot of contested catches. Looked good today. If anyone made a play, it was Caleb Douglas. So you had one beat writer I did from the Washington say, I'm impressed by Caleb Douglas because the only positive that we see, person that seemed to be making plays for the Dolphins on receiving corps is Caleb Douglas. Cool. Y'all remember them people? And if y'all listening to the shorts, right? You know, in the comments, I had one guy say, this take didn't age well because I heard Caleb Douglas was doing good. Didn't I tell y'all he wasn't getting separation? Wasn't that my complaint about him? Didn't I say there was only, out of the 8 practices I went to, there was only 2 practices that he didn't drop a ball? There's an interview of Caleb Douglas admitting he dropped the ball today. That's an interview. He said it, not me. So for all you people that said I was negative with him, he said that, go talk to that man. You know who else did an interview yesterday on Joe Rogan's show?
Sully.
John Eric Sullivan. And he said he has some great plays, and yes, he makes some contested catches, and his route running is looking to, look good for his sides. And he has some plays where he just needs to catch the ball. That was the GM. The guy that drafted him said that. You got a problem with that tape? Talk to that man. Don't talk, since I can't say it, right? Y'all go talk to the people that's actually getting paid to do it. They said that. And all I've asked for from Caleb Douglas is consistency. And I said, the separation. Lou put a couple videos up. And I don't care how good of a Miami Dolphin fan you are. If you look at him running them routes and tell me that those are crisp route running, I'm sorry, I can't trust your evaluation on route running. Remember what I told you the last practice I went to on that goal line that Malik Willis had to talk to him about rounding out his down and ends or his out. You remember that? And I said it allowed the cornerback to get underneath him and tip the ball away. If y'all watch that route, tell me that's not a rounded off route. Now, did he make some catches? Good. All good for you. That's what I want you to do. Make catches. But can we eliminate the drops? That's all I'm asking for. Eliminate the drops, and at least you could be consistent. I want you to improve. I would never come on here and say, yeah, man, Caleb Douglas is looking like an elite player. No. Why? Because he looked better than all the rest of the receivers on the field? I just told you Malik Willis was in duress. You know what he said? What I heard? He was on duress, and sometimes he will hold the ball for 5 to 6 to 7 seconds and then find someone open. I mean, we have to depend on him to do that the whole season for our receivers to get open. Now, they did have a highlight video. It's crazy. They was running zone, and Malik did a great pass, hitting him in the zone. Cool. I like to see catches like that. But don't tell me that's elite. Just don't tell me that. So for all the praise that we were giving this offensive line and all the praise that the outside people like Lou spoke of are talking about Caleb Douglas and the receivers, I was saying that Malik Washington was looking like the best wide receiver. That pick six was on him. It was his hand that they got wrestled away from. And then the question came up, do we know if he could get off press? Do we know if he can handle people being physical with him? Because that seemed like that's his problem. Why they try to motion him and all the gimmick and the gadget plays and put him in the middle. And one last thing before I let Lou, take off. Y'all know every time he does them gadget plays on the other team, they tend to not work. Today they tried to run the little end around and all that stuff. I heard they got stuffed 4 times. So the offense, I'll say, from what I'm hearing, if it wasn't for Malik Willis, it would have been complete domination by the defense. So that's my take on that, Lou. You add whatever you want to add, but I'm just saying those are the people that I'm looking, especially the offensive line. That's who I'm disappointed at.
Yeah, that's very well said. Yeah, as far as the offensive line goes, I know everybody was high on Jonas Salvanea because he went back to his original position. Yeah, he's trash. We can eliminate that. The first time he seen a different color jersey, did we hear anything about Jonas Salvanea today?
Nah. Only that he had a bad rep in one-on-one. So
right, because he's seen another uniform. Funny how that works. All that offensive line that we oh my God, we did such a great job of creating this off. Yeah, cool. Caden Proctor, what did he do today?
Nothing.
Hello, is this thing on?
Yeah.
How about Patrick Paul, our $100 million guy that we giving $100 million to after the season? Now, Tone been telling us that, hey, man, it ain't really looking that good. You would figure that the guy that came in as a rookie that didn't want to listen to coaches, players, he was the rough one on the team. He didn't do nothing today. Outside of Aaron Brewer, Tone told you it was Malik was running for his life. Thank God. Right? And this is the last time you're ever going to hear me mention this guy's name. Thank God Tua Tagovailoa was not playing quarterback today because he would have been, listen, the team would have flew back Friday night and that man still would have been in Washington in the hospital somewhere. Playing against this offensive line. Well, should I pump the brakes?
No, go ahead.
The offensive line was trash, but that's not who I want to talk about because I could care less. I've been telling y'all the offensive line don't make or break me. That hasn't been the reason that we haven't won in recent years or past years. It ain't gonna be the reason we win or lose games this season. But I do want to talk about some of these third round guys that we picked in the draft. I'm gonna start with pick 75, Caleb Douglas. Now, again, it was even said today in the chat when we started. I seen it. I just can't go all the way up and find it again. You know what they're calling? They saying that man's always open.
Mm-hmm.
Always open. Tone, I know you a Dolphin fan. Finsanity, there is no, without a shadow of a doubt, I know you a Dolphin fan.
Thank you.
You remember a guy we used to have a couple years ago? We used to call him 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
Why did we used to call him 7-Eleven?
he was always open. Chris Hogan.
And he was trash. That guy that was always open, he was god awful.
Shout out to Chris Hogan. Hard knocks.
But oh, hey, shout out to Chris Hogan. But now, Mr. O, we should call him 7-Eleven 2.0. He's always open. Man, if you man, listen, Caleb Douglas is terrible. Oh, there's Kelvin. Oh, CD7. Man, that man he's not CD 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7. Caleb Douglas and Tone, I think you said it best because I said it earlier in a group chat. I think we're all in. Let's say Caleb Douglas is the best Dolphin receiver. I won't even take that away from people, Finsanity and Tone. But don't we talk about all the other, like, outside of Caleb Douglas, that this wide receiver group is terrible? Don't we say Jalen Tolbert hasn't done anything? Don't we say Tutu Atwell ain't doing nothing? Don't we say Terrence Marshall ain't doing nothing? Theo Weiss ain't doing anything? None of these guys are doing nothing. So if Caleb Douglas is the best out of trash, does that automatically make him a Hall of Famer?
No.
Does that make him great because he's better than nothing?
No.
Like, if you're better than nothing, how great are you?
It depends how great you are.
I don't, you know what? I'm done because, excuse me, I don't want to keep killing Caleb Douglas. Because I listened to Halfley the other day, and Halfley said he's been telling his players not to listen to people like me in the media. You know what I'm saying? Halfley said he's been telling his players, the people that's talking about you don't matter. Well, I just want to tell, and again, I'm a Halfley guy, but I just want to tell Halfley, the only reason I'm talking about him is because you ain't talking to him. Because if Halfley was talking to him and maybe you could catch the ball a little bit better, I wouldn't be talking about him. I would talk about him in a positive light. But either way, let's go back to the second pick in the third round. Hey, Finsanity. You know what I heard yesterday?
What's up?
Now, we was flying to Washington. You know what I heard yesterday?
What's up?
When the Dolphins landed, they weren't even waiting for breakfast this morning. When they got there last night, they were going to Waffle House. And everybody was eating pancakes because Will Kazmarek was about to shine. They told me Will Kazmarek was going out there and it was Pancake City.
They didn't say that, Lou. They said that.
Yeah.
Tone, if I'm lying, am I flying?
I was one of the ones, Jeff. He did say that.
Okay, cool. I didn't hear about a pancake, a waffle, a crepe, a nut. What do they eat in Europe, Tone? They eat crepes in Europe?
Muffins.
Yep, I didn't hear. They didn't. Where was Will Kazmarek at? Where is our fullback? You mean to tell me that if our offensive line is struggling, where's our chip and release guy? Oh, I guess he didn't show up today. I guess he didn't show up today. You know what? Let's get off of Will Kazmarek.
He's gonna score Friday still. I still feel like
he's gonna score Friday. Yeah. He's definitely gonna score. You know what's crazy? In practice, again, training camp, Tone's been doing a great job, by the way, giving us all the breakdowns and highlights and stuff. We got a tight end. I don't even know. I think his name is Turner or whatever.
Cole Turner, yeah.
Cole Turner making plays out there balling. Right? Greg Dulcich, before he got hurt, he was doing some good things, catching the ball. This Traore out here, Police Academy.
One hand catch.
One hand catches, doing all kind of stuff. I think we left the tight end room. To be fair to them, I don't think they showed up. I don't think they went to Washington. I think we gave them the week off. Mm-hmm. Did a tight end make a play? I was watching the Collective Tone and Finsanity earlier. They asked Omar Kelly, did Greg Dulcich have a catch? He said he didn't even remember seeing Greg Dulcich on the field.
Mm-hmm. He did say that.
Ain't a tight end supposed to be a quarterback's best friend?
Yeah, especially when you're under duress.
Especially safety when you're in duress. A quick, easy outlet throws, this, that, and the third.
Safety valve.
Not a sniff of a catch today. Not a sniff. Yeah, they've got had good runs from A Chain and stuff. But when Tone was talking about A Chain, like I, I I know what we're gonna get from A Chain. Like
Yeah,
we've gotten that from A Chain. Nothing A Chain did today was a surprise. And I would say the same thing about the Ollie Gordon run, the 69 or the 70-yard run. We just made the example earlier when the Washington commander beat writer said that
yeah.
Trey Burks or whatever had that
Could have
70-yard.
possibly be tackled. Yes,
But we
you got.
seen when the video came out. I think it was Michael Taft. Basically,
Yeah,
would have tackled him, right? So we
yes,
know it wasn't. So is it safe for me to say that maybe Ollie Gordon didn't get a 69, 70-yard run? Maybe he would have been tackled before. Is that safe for me to
yeah,
say?
yeah. You can only
Right. Um, Listen, I'm gonna say this. Everybody knows that I have no problem usually calling people out, and I don't want to call nobody out. I just want people to understand it's not about being negative, but I just want people to understand and open their eyes a little bit. Um, if the Dolphins would have did anything great today on any side of the ball, I know one person in the community that would have been writing and tweeting and doing and telling and showing and
Would have
we
found a
were in a
way.
space earlier. We were in a space earlier for Insanity, and that same individual put out a tweet while we were talking about it and said, "Well, I didn't want to say nothing today because it was trash." Because if he would have seen anything good, he would have reported it. The reason we didn't get, I seen a whole bunch of Dolphin fans today asking, "Where's our beat reporters? Why are they so quiet?" You want to know why? Ask yourself a question, right? You ain't got to be smart to answer this, right? You could be a dum dum and understand this. If the Dolphins were doing good, do you think Dolphin beat reporters would have been reporting it?
He would have found a way. Yep.
The reason you didn't get nothing is because again, now we got to pump our brakes. I understand it's only one practice. Um, it was awful. Miss me with the wide open Caleb Douglas. Oh my God! I seen the tweet earlier. It said Caleb Douglas buy stock in him. You want me to buy stock? Now again, a guy that I trust, Tone, been to 8 practices. He told me 6 out of the 8 he had drops. Today, Caleb Douglas even admitted he had drops. Tone has told us he's getting maybe 3, 4 passes thrown to him. I'm buying stock in three or 4 passes. That's what I'm buying stock in. Am I supposed to be buying stock in Will Merritt?
for sure.
Austin Jackson? I didn't even mention, we didn't even talk about Austin Jackson on the offensive. How did he look today?
They said now I don't know if it was Austin Jackson, but you can only assume they was like what's his name? He came from Chisholm, the edge that came from New England. Ah man, he had that weird name. Anyway, they were like he destroyed the right tackle so bad that Malik Willis didn't even have time to receive the football before he got sacked.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
was,
yeah.
what we
They,
put on
they,
both sides.
that Chase on, yeah. Listen,
Chase on, that's it. Yeah, Chase on. Yeah,
Chase on. I'm look, again. Me and Tone probably going to sound the same in this, so I don't want to keep going. At the end
yeah.
of the day, listen. Hopefully, it gets better. I
Yes.
do think eventually, with more reps, it will get better. It was just a bad day today overall. But I will highlight some of the things that I've been hearing from people, like the Will Kazmarek. I will highlight that. I will highlight the Caleb Douglas. I will, because I've taken a lot of criticism for my opinion on certain individuals. And we'll see ultimately who's right, who's wrong. And for me, it's not about that. I know someone told me that earlier. Well, Lou, you just probably just want to be right. I've been wrong plenty of times. I've come up here and said I was wrong. It's not about being right or wrong, but I'm not going to lie to myself because I wear dolphin pajamas at night and I wake up in the morning and they're still on and I eat breakfast and then I eat lunch in them and I take a shower in them and I never take them off. I'm not that fan. Right? You're not being honest to yourself if you think that everything is perfect and shiny and beautiful and this team is going to be great. I'm not one of those fans. I'm not here to lie to you. So again, overall offense, there was some good plays, Tone, Finsanity. I would say from what I've heard though, there was more probably bad as a collective overall, from receivers not getting open, offensive line play, our tight ends not showing up. Again, good, right? Hopefully you could build on the good. But I would say, from what I heard, there was probably more bad in my opinion. So I would say the offense, they lost the day as well. I do want to real quick, and then I'll throw it to you, Finsanity. I seen a comment earlier. Bones said TD was live and his service was bad,
It
and
was terrible.
that's why no one could tweet, right? Well, did the Commanders have problems tweeting?
No,
I was gonna say that, but
and you and
Oh,
no,
my bad, Finsanity, my bad.
no, and it wasn't the tweet. It's going live because TD was live. He was going in and out, and he'll refresh it, and then it'll come right back. And sometimes they have like it wasn't he. They could have tweeted. Fuentes, he tweeted.
David
He
Friones did tweet. Yep.
Fiona, that's his name. Fiona. I called a friend. Sorry. He was tweeting. It was tweet. They was able to tweet. It was bad service over there. From what I'm hearing from all of those guys out there, and I don't know if that's why they didn't tweet or whatever. You have a terrible vintage point from a media standpoint. And TD said the same thing when he was live. He said, "Thank God that I called their media crew late, so his boy had to get him tickets to where the fans sit at." Because he said you got a better vantage point. But he was like, over there where you sitting, it's floor level, and you're at like basically like the all 22 view. And if you see how the players was lined up, they're blocking your vision the whole time. So, but I would say, could that have been a reason? Because they weren't used to it. But then you can't say that because the commander beat writers didn't have no problem tweeting and saying what was going on and things of that nature. So just take that part with a grain of salt. But we're not gonna make an excuse for them not tweeting because of the service, because that's not what Travis Wingfield said. He said, I chose not to. He said, obviously, I chose not to. I'll go over everything when he go live on whatever his show is. So it wasn't because of the bad service. So for Sanity, go ahead. Before I add something on, I wanted to add a question.
Yeah, I don't want to harp too much on what the guys already said. Sentiments are the same. We know what this offense is going to be. It's going to be run heavy, allegedly physical. Don't know how we're going to do that with some of the offensive line play that we heard about today. But hey, there's chance, as you guys said, for it to get better. We better not. I mean, getting down early in games and where you're forced to throw the ball, it doesn't look like it's going to bode too well for us. But yeah, we know what we're going to get from HM. We know what, hopefully we'll know what we're going to get from the backup, as long as they can not fumble the ball, right? Keep the ball, keep the clock running, keep it low scoring. And yeah, I would have segued into the defense, but Tony said you had a question.
No, I wanted to add something at the end, and I'm glad you said that, because on the offense, this seemed like they couldn't run or throw consistently. You get what I'm saying? So even if there's going to be a run heavy, it's not like we got positive out of the run game. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Malik Willis scrambling, there wasn't really that positive. You got that one lone run by Ali Gordon. All 8-10 scores came off. You know what he's doing, the little out running back route.
Yeah, throws. Yep,
Catches. Can't keep up with him.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So now I want to ask you, both of you guys, a question, because Caleb Douglas, we could be critical of him. And what I'm critical on is because I want him to improve. What I'm hoping to see from what we saw Wednesday is an improvement on Friday. When we go live Friday, I want to see them take it serious and at least have something to improve upon. I don't care if they play 5 plays. I want to see 5 plays of consistency, because you have to constantly constantly improve. This is what you want from a young team. But I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think he's going to get more reception this season than A10 got last year? Mind you, A10 had 67 receptions.
Are you saying is A-Chain going to get more?
Caleb Douglas.
67?
67 receptions.
I would take the under on that.
Sandy?
Give me a second. Okay.
Carry the one.
I'm trying to carry it. You said more than HN?
67. Is he going to, don't forget the name. Is he going to get, do you think he's going to get 67 catches or more than 67 catches? So over or under, or at least 67?
Right now, under.
Okay. And I said that to say this. If he's our best receiver and he don't have at least 67 catches with our running back guy from us, that's not saying anything good. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it Idle Man say 65 and 900 yards, I'll take that 8 touchdowns if that's what it come with. You get what I'm saying? But that means we're still probably needing a wide receiver number one, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we all praying that Chris Bell stays on the trajectory that he's on right now, and he come back sooner rather than later. Because that's what HN gave you that. Excuse me, HN gave you that production with Waddle on the team.
You know what, Tone? That's a very good point. Let me ask y'all a question. If Chris Bell came back tomorrow, is he automatically wide receiver one in y'all's opinion?
Hands down.
Yeah.
How great this is, and this is the point I'm trying to make. How great can Caleb Douglas be if he's been there all mini camp, all training camp, hasn't missed a practice, and a guy that's coming off an ACL injury who hasn't did anything would be tomorrow automatically better than he is? How great can Caleb Douglas be?
Make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe, people. Subscribe. You know, help the channel grow. This is where you're going to get the real. Right now, we're just going based off what we heard from the outside noise. The next time we have, you know, practice open to the public, hopefully I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? There's only 2 more practices, which is the members only. So hopefully my boy come through with the members only tickets. But I will most definitely be there for that Giants. And I want to see with my own 2 eyes how they look against the Giants. I will say this before we move on to the defense. From every beat writer and for everyone, shout out to TD and Omar and Allen and everyone that went there, they said us as Dolphin fans, the ones that's allowed to go to practice, we should appreciate everything that the Dolphins did with the way they set up our practice facilities, because at every practice that they go to in a practice field, you do not have the bleachers with the fans and the vantage point to where you can see over the players. For the most part, every other practice field is field level. And if you ever been to games live, you know, especially like if you've been to a Pop Warner game live, it's very difficult to see the game when you're running when you're on the sideline, because people in your way, the linemen, if it's on the other side of the field, you don't have a great vantage point. But at the Dolphins facility, we're spoiled to be able to sit in the bleacher under the shade and watch the game, so we can see actually what's going on and who's doing something. Because from what I was hearing, the side TD was on, it was our defense versus their offense. The side that Omar and all the rest of the media guys, it was our offense versus their defense. So they didn't have a good vantage point on what was going on with our defense over this side. And then the people that was in the stand didn't have a good vantage point of what our offense was doing on that side, just so y'all can have an idea. So I want to say, listen, I'll be able to get a great vantage point when the Giants come to town 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Well, let's get into, you know, what a day it was. Lou, I think I'll let Tony go first on the other one. Lou, how do you feel about, let's start with the run defense today.
What I wanna well, again, the run defense, from
You
what I
speak up as
heard,
a whole. I think it's yeah.
yeah, I was going to speak as a whole, but yeah, listen, as could start with the run defense. I didn't hear many runs from the Washington Commanders. I think for the most part, I think from a defensive standpoint, especially from what I heard, like towards the end of practice later in the day, I heard the defense started to come on. I didn't hear a lot of run plays for Insanity, to be honest with you, from the Commanders. So I think from that standpoint, I would say maybe some things to clean up. But no, I don't think the run defense was bad at all, to be honest with you. I think what got lit up today again was the secondary as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris Johnson wasn't there, obviously. I don't think he would have made that much of a difference. I think it would have been better. I think he's the best, corner that we got or secondary player that we got. But I don't think he would have ultimately just shut everything down and stopped everything. And we could have said that maybe, like we won the day from the secondary standpoint just because he would have been there. I don't believe that, but I think it would have been better. But if y'all would allow me to, right, I want to be objective. Because a lot of people say I'm just here to be negative and hate and this, that, and the third. Tone Finsanity, you know I've been killing Chop Robinson.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. If he about to be objective, y'all at least y'all can do a subscribe for this.
I'm always objective. I'm always, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm Mr. Objectivity. That's what I've been called, a couple times. And shout
Hey,
out to
what's up?
Chop Robinson. Because in my opinion, Chop Robinson was one of the few players of the Dolphins that showed up today in Washington. And what we've been hearing in Miami is that consistently here recently, especially, he's been developing a bull rush. He
Yep.
the other day, Tone told you about the bull rush. He put Patrick Paul kind of pushed him back and even put
On
him
the
on the
ground.
floor and on the ground. And we heard Chop Robinson had put on some weight. I was still skeptical of this, that, and the third. Even with what we were hearing with things coming out of training camp about Chop, I was still skeptical. I wasn't really saying nothing, but it was like, I don't know, because again, Tone has been telling us Patrick Paul hasn't looked extremely well, this, that, and the third. Today, he didn't know nothing about that offensive line in Washington. He didn't care about who was in front of him, this, that, and the third. I think they said easily he could have probably had 3 to 4 sacks today, something like that. Salute to Chop Robinson. If this is the Chop we're going to get, it would answer a lot of my questions, Tone and Finsanity, about the edge position, at least on one side. There would still
Mhm.
be question marks, this, that, and the third. But this is what we've all wanted from Chop. Being where we selected him in the first round, he hasn't lived up to the billing so far. But in this training camp and this season, so far, so good. So again, there's some objectivity, there's some positivity with the defense. Chop Robinson showed up. Outside of that, Tone, Finsanity, I'm gonna be honest. And again, I don't think the Commanders. I think they got Rashad White. They signed him in the offseason
Yeah.
as a running
Yeah.
back.
Mm.
And I know they drafted that rookie last year, Merritt or whatever. They got
Merrick
him.
Crockett or something like yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear again. I don't think the running game is the aspect of Washington's game. We all know 2 years ago the leading rusher in Washington was their quarterback, right?
Yes.
So I don't think they're particularly a running first football team like that. So overall, salute to Chop Robinson. Salute to maybe our run defense, because again, I didn't hear a lot coming out of Washington. But overall, again, I'll end it with this. Tone, you can take off, and Finsanity as well. At the end of the day, this is another unit, and we talked about the quarterback play. I would give that to the Commanders. Offensively, we talked about that. I would give that to the Commanders. Outside of Chop Robinson and let's say our run defense, I would also give the defensive day to the Commanders. Some things I've heard on their defensive side. We heard Sonny Styles made a play on
Yeah.
Devon A. Chain today, Tone. Vincent, I don't know if you heard. And Tone, I think you made a good point. We don't, when people were saying
You ran him down.
he ran them down.
Yeah.
I think he met them. It
He
is
met
better
yeah.
said, right? He
Hmm.
didn't. A Chain wasn't going nowhere on that play. That's what they were meaning. So, but overall, I think the defense, I would say today, again, good and bad, probably more bad than good. But salute to Chop Robinson, and hopefully this trend continues and we get one of those ones, or we have one of those ones in Chop Robinson.
Yeah. And I would make that this segment pretty nice and sweet because it's clear as day. Our secondary, torched. That's all we heard. They were getting torched. Right? Jaden Daniels was very accurate. I heard one of the beat writers say if he had wrote it down, he was completing at a 75% completion rate. That's how he looked. Now, I granted, okay, Juju Brent wasn't there, and a couple of other guys wasn't there. We know Zach Sealer wasn't there for the defensive line. I heard the run defense was good. I heard that what's his name? Jordan Brooks was all over the place, making plays left and right. You know, they said that what's his name was always around the ball. He wasn't making plays like he always do, but he still is around the ball, which is Jacob Rodriguez. You know, heard one of the beat writers said Kyle Lewis. He put Kyle Lewis. They said Kyle Lewis with a nice tackle for loss on a play. So those are the ones that you hear. I'll say this though, there was only one unit that if you look at the beat writers from the Commanders that they was concerned with. And you want to know what unit that was? Their offensive line. they were concerned with their offensive line. And one guy said, man, this Dolphins defensive line is getting so much pressure on Jaden Daniels, it's a bit concerning. And he was like, Chop Robinson is eating, I forgot his name, whatever that tackle he was going, eating his food right now. I'm impressed with Chop Robinson.
Conley or Cardley or something like that.
That was the best battle all day. You know, even Jordan Phillips and that dude got in a fight towards, you know, in a practice. But shout out to Lou for pointing for saying these type of things. It's crazy, right? A lot of people would say, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but I told y'all, when it comes to going to training camp, when it comes to going to practice, when it comes to what y'all hear from the beat writers and what y'all hear from me, more often than not, I'm gonna tell you the truth, whether y'all like it or not. When y'all asked about Patrick Paul, and I always give Fitzgerald credit, thank you for telling me to pay attention to him last season because he looked amazing. This year, I say he's up and down. Not saying that he's bad, but he's just not. I'm expecting him to take the next level. You see inconsistency there today. I told y'all, Chop Robinson has been working on that bull rush, and you can tell the difference this year. Showed up today, didn't he? Didn't I speak on that? These are the things that I was saying. And the run defense is what I said. At the end of the day, that's the one that I had concern with. Today they proved they know what they're doing. Right? So this is that'll tell you right there. I'm giving you honest assessments. I just told y'all Caleb Douglas is making catches. It's the separation that I'm worried about. What are you hearing out of everything? He made a bunch of contested catches. He had great body placement. And that's what I was saying. I'm like, if he happen to have body placement, that means he's not getting great separation. I had a debate with Dave when he was like, oh, man, he's a great route runner and he can get in and out of his routes. I'm saying, yeah, but the short area quickness. And somebody I seen made a comment on one of the shorts saying that, oh, football 101, you need the short area quickness more for a slot receiver. Well, let me give you some more football 101. You know when else you need short area quickness? 3rd, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3rd and 6. When you know that defense is coming at you and you need your wide receiver to get in and out his break quick and be able to at least explode to get that 1 or maybe a half a yard separation. That's when you need quick short area quickness as well. The most pivotal downs. Now, I said this. If he's able to continue to do what he's doing, which is use his frame and get those contested catches on a consecutive basis, cool. So if you can do this consistently, I'm fine with that. And what I said, we'll have a great possession receiver that have long speed. Not a problem. But you cannot be a guy that have drop issues being that type of receiver. Now, for Sandy, Lou, did y'all see the route that he was running today? Did y'all see the videos of the route running? I know Lou showed me that. Were you able to see the video for Sandy?
You gotta tell me which one you're talking about specifically. I saw a lot of videos.
No, his route running. I'm talking about Caleb Douglas, his route running. No, you didn't see no one. They had him running routes by himself. Just running.
Okay, by himself. Yes, I saw that video. Sorry.
Yeah, because they don't. I don't think they have. Yeah.
That's why I said be more specific because if he's a wide receiver, he's no offense, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's no video. Like the only video that I saw is him his route running. Everything else is just him making catches.
Yeah.
Tell me what you thought about. I would love to get people's opinion on what they thought about the route running. Because if I'm that player, or I'm somebody on the team, I'm like, man, y'all should have never showed this. What are we doing? That was a rounded off route. That was a guy not getting in and out, of his breaks. So these are the things that we need him to practice on, because from what we're seeing, you're going to have to consistently win with body placement and positioning. So you have to sharpen and shorten up your breaks and cuts, get in and out your cuts. These are all the things that I'm talking about. Because when teams, I'm telling y'all, when teams learn your weakness, they're going to make you beat them by playing that way. Now, let's see if he's able to improve. Somebody just brought up Chop and Zeke Biggers. Idleman, thank you for bringing up Zeke Biggers. I heard Zeke Biggers completely destroy the offensive lineman today in 11 on 11s. They were like, I don't know who that is, but he just knocked someone on their behind on his way to the quarterback. You know, I don't know if they said it was a sack or anything, but I forgot to mention Zeke Biggers as well. So it seemed like the positive we getting is from the defensive line and the run defense that they was completely shut down. Like that's one thing that was consistent on our beat writer side and the Commanders beat writer side. They were like, man, the Commanders could not do nothing in the run game. But I think Lou pointed out, made a great point and said, Washington aren't really known for being, a great running team, even though they got Rashard, right? The guy from Tampa Bay, cool, but these are not household names. So we'll see what's going on. But outside of that, I'll say you got to give them 50-50. Kudos to our rush defense, pass defense. I understand Chris Johnson wasn't there. I understand Zane Anderson wasn't there, but
And Juju Brents wasn't there, brother.
Juju Brent wasn't there.
They were still going to be trash.
What we expecting for Juju Brent? He's always been injured. So how much, how much you want pass you want to give him, or how much leeway you want to give him when he probably whoever played cornerback is probably going to get a lot of snaps this season.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So these are all the things that we seeing happen, and these are the things that we looking to see if they improve on.
Sean saying Dante Trader wasn't there.
Dante Trader Jr. wasn't there, but he hasn't been there for a while. That's why Michael Taft is in there.
And that's what I'm saying. And Tone, you made a great point about Juju Brents. Like, I don't know what the expectation is. He has all the talent and the ability, right? He has the size. He's physical, right? There's a lot to like with, bro. Tone, Fincini, he hasn't played a complete season in his entire career. Right. And we're not even at a training camp yet, and he's already dinged up or hurt. Now they're saying it's, he was going to take this week off. I don't think it's something that it's major yet, but it again, from a guy that has never been healthy to already have a minor injury, it is a concern. Like, I don't know where people are like, well, don't worry, Juju just be back. And nah, bro, this is again, it's a concern. So I'm glad you brought that up, Tone.
Yeah. And then I'll end it like this because this it's enough said. We take everything from the beat writers with a grain of salt. The only one that I'll stand firm on is the offensive and defensive line, because it don't matter if they were vanilla, and it don't matter if they were being running exotic twists and turns. Your offensive line has to perform. There's no such thing as being vanilla on offensive and defensive line. Block the guy in front of you. You understand? So they have to improve. Now hopefully they build some camaraderie. This is their first time live action working together, and a team that they got some guys on the defensive alignment, right? A team that's been working with each other, that been to the AFC Championship game with experience. This is how we're gonna look. You see, they have Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs been in the AFC East, AFC Championship game. They, Scary Terry, he's one of the ones, right? And I forgot the other wide receiver they got from the Rams. I forgot his name, but those guys.
Dasani Brown Water.
No, not Dasani. The one that he got from they had him. The one they got from the Rams. I'll think his name. But these are the things that I'm seeing. Obviously, they put them in specific situations that they want them to respond and see how they respond, and they didn't respond well. Now, do I think this is the type of defense that they're going to play in the regular season? No. We're going to majority be cover 2. So to see them guys out there man-to-man getting cooked, cool. But we need to be able to rely upon y'all to do man-to-man. So, so that's all I got for that segment. Vicinity, I don't know if you want to add anything or do, but go ahead. Any one of y'all can take off.
Once again, not trying to get too high, not trying to get too low. I think it's just going to go back to what I feel. This team will be in the most positive way, because I don't want to be seen as negative. we'll be lucky if we get to 4 wins as of right now. From what I saw, from what I heard, right? When I went back, I looked at our schedule. I'm looking at the wide receiver tandems and wide receiver groups that we're going to have to go up against. Um, Everyone's saying, "Oh, these guys are not available." Well, what if they're not available that week? That you can't use that excuse. At the end of the day, you got to go out there and play. It's your job. Like you got to do. Now, there's levels, there's talent, obviously, right? You want your best out there, right? But anything can happen. Anything can happen, and the next guy has to be ready to go. And for what it's worth, my only question is, Tone. I know you talked about Jordan Brooks, and you said like in the run game, looked like he was, everywhere. Was there a consensus on how our whole linebacker room looked? Because we're talking, well about the defensive line. Got
Yeah,
some
they
questions
said
on the
they
secondary.
were starting they were starting against the run. The
Okay,
Commanders
so
couldn't
stout,
do anything against the run. Yeah.
stout against the one.
Remember the ones that they named specifically, I gave you the names: Kyle Lewis and
Right.
Jordan Brooks making
Shout out to
plays.
those
You
who
get what
like
I'm
me.
saying?
Yeah. Okay. So from the looks of it,
Can I ask a question?
go ahead. Go ahead.
What for all y'all Trey Moore lovers? We ain't hear his name not once, but go ahead. That wasn't really a question. I just want to input that, but go ahead.
It said, listen, I'm always here for questions, but for what it's worth, I mean, I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying to understand. Okay, this is the guys' first time out on the field together, right? As time goes on, they will get better. But as we look at our schedule, as time goes on, the competition on paper, like because we can go the whole, we don't know what the team's going to look like, but from projection standpoint, right? Don't know what it's actually going to be. They get better and harder. Like so, for me, at the end of this day, when I look at this team after this practice, um, there's a lot of things we have to fix. There's a lot of things we have to correct. Luckily, I know we have a coach that's going to go to these guys. They're going to look at it. They're going to evaluate. They're going to break it down, and then a lot of it's going to be like, well, what was your technique? How were you found like fundamentally sound and all this type of stuff? Um, you could call it negative. I'm gonna just call it. I'm hoping uh for the best while expecting the worst. Tony, please make sure you have an Iceman on retainer because right now it doesn't look too good for you. And I mean that, with all the love in my heart, because it's nothing but love between us. But as far as this defense, yeah, it didn't impress me. And I hope that we get a chance to see something. I understand preseason is very vanilla. We're not going to really get a real glimpse of what this team looks like until week 1, and it'll be very interesting to see that Las Vegas game. So right now, I'm just hampering expectations. I'm just going based off of what it was and what it is, understanding like, hey, they're not showing and putting everything out there. So, Dad, please don't. Um, please don't. So
His man just say number one job pick.
believe me, and I'm
Stop the cap.
you don't okay. You don't you know what? Let's have because I don't want to have this conversation.
Let me ask the question. I'm gonna answer anyway, but go ahead. You can ask me
You,
right now
you,
so I can
you,
tell you.
you know what, Vincent? Before you answer that question, on the last episode, we were talking about a different topic, and I said Pops could be wrong too. I want to retract that statement because Pops is never wrong. Pops is absolutely right. Number one pick in 2027.
Listen, listen. What and this is why I said, and I think we had
Man, I just want
conversations,
to
and
answer
I
the question.
asked, okay, what are realistic expectations for what we expect from a league, for how we expect them to play, and all these things. And I mean, talking best case scenario, we were like the left side of that line was going to be something there for him. His blind side was at least going to be protected. It doesn't look like that right now, respectfully, right? To your point, he's having to find a way to make plays, and that's how our passing game is going to be ran. We don't know. Listen, that's why I said we got to wait to that Vegas game to really see what it's really going to be like. Because I don't think he's going to be playing in every preseason game. My heart desire is hopefully they get him out this one, maybe a little bit for the second, and then just shut it down and like just get ready for the season. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just going to be honest with myself. Sorry, this is my final thoughts. I'm just going to be honest with
That's a
myself.
mistake.
I wanted to find a way to believe in 5 wins. I don't see 5 on this. I do not see 5 on this schedule. And I went back and I just looked at it. And I get it. There are a lot of variables. There's a lot of things that could change. We don't know who's going to be playing. But the team that we just saw go out there and practice, and I understand it's a practice. I understand that. But it's not giving a team that is ready to go out there and win some big games. I do believe, to my point, that this is a team that will never say die. This is not a team that's going to lay down. This is not a team that is going to call it quits. But if sometimes, like one of my favorite movies is The Little Giants. Grew up watching The Little Giants, and it said one time. This team could literally give us one time out of 10. That might be the greatest halftime speech we get one game. It is what it is. We might get the one win. It is what it is. But getting to 5, getting over 4.5, I don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. And it is what it is. I'm going to be tough, and I'm going to try to be fair to my fandom, because nothing in me wants to say this, but I have to prepare myself for what this season is going to be for me, potentially. Now, if they prove me wrong, I will be the happiest Dolphin fan in the world. But as of right now, from the reports that we got, from what we've seen in our own training camps and all this, then seeing these guys go up against another team, man, listen, teams are gonna have some field days against us. I don't know if any of y'all play fantasy. Go look at the teams that will be playing the Dolphins in the playoffs, and do with that what you will. That's all I got, Tone. Lil, great
Jesus
show.
Christ, is that one
you.
the most beat around on the fence answer that I
How
heard?
that beat
Like,
around on the fence? I said we weren't getting over
hey man, listen, let me tell you. I told you to answer the question. Let me show you how you answer that question. I said 10, 10 and 7.
You did.
So I'm based on what I saw right now, I think they still could get to the 10 wins. If they end up at 8 or 9, I'm gonna be like, I should have, I ain't gonna be mad at that. But I still believe what they could get to the 10 wins. So when we get to saying, what we seen over there, I seen, them compete against a team that went to an AFC championship game. NFC. That's what I seen. I mean NFC championship game. So hold on, let me finish mine. Yeah, you can have yours right there. I'm standing on business right now. Yes, I still see that. They're exactly where I thought. Actually, Malik is a little further than what I expected him to be at this point. He is. See, because I think y'all forgot. Matter of fact, Lou might not have been on that show, but Fincent, you specifically asked me when did I think that Malik Willis will be comfortable. Then I say after week 6. Mm-hmm. So I expected growing pain. You know what I'm saying? I expected him to grow into. So this is not a surprise for me. This is not. Let's set up a trip to the 2027 draft.
And I'm with it. I'm with it, by the way. I am with it. I am with it.
My dad.
Shout out to Pops. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, he said, "What's in Tony Cup?" The same thing, some water, but I'm keeping the same energy. So yeah, from what I've seen, I didn't expect him to be able to handle all that pressure and still get out and keep his composure. I thought things would be moving a little bit too fast right now for him, and he would have to get used to that. But shout out to Hafley by putting him in game situations. I think he's doing this type of thing on purpose, because if you ever play any sport, when you see things, it takes time for it to slow down. It's called awareness. There's this thing called awareness. After you see things a couple of times, it should for the good players, the players that eventually panned out. That's when things start slowing down, and you realize, okay, this coming, and you get more comfortable. But I would say this, right? I'm glad Nina said that. Looking from what I've seen today, yeah, I'm confident we're gonna beat the Vegas. And Niners, with all them god doggone injuries, if you think we're not gonna go up there and smack y'all around in San Francisco, we'll see, my good brother. But no, realistically, I'm still teetering around that. If I give an honest assessment, around that 8 to 10 area, because that offensive line, I don't know offensive line. Y'all I might have to take a game or two off for how this offensive line looked. And I'm not looking at because if I look on our schedule, I don't think we have that many playoff teams on our schedule. Now we got a bunch of teams that got names, like Baltimore, Kansas City. They didn't make the playoffs. Detroit Lions, they didn't make the playoffs. So I think if we talk about playoff teams on our schedule, Minnesota Vikings, they didn't make the playoffs. We don't have a lot of those on our team.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't make the playoffs.
Right. No, I'm saying teams on our playoff on our
right.
playoff team.
But when you look at, let's just go to Baltimore. Do you not think Zay Flowers would have a field day against these cornerbacks?
Nah, I don't know.
Please,
I'm talking about as a team.
We played Baltimore this year?
No, we don't play them.
No, but I'm just saying, because you mentioned Baltimore. I'm just saying, do you think that they would have a field day? We do play Cincinnati. What do you think?
Cincinnati didn't make the playoff too. Thank you for saying.
Yeah, and neither did we. But we do know one thing about Cincinnati.
Those
wide receivers will put up numbers.
Can I ask you? You
When's
said
the last time Cincinnati played?
Hold on. You said looking at the roster, we have a lot of playoff teams on there. I'm only rebuttaling that.
I don't. If I said playoff, then I apologize for that. But I said we have a lot of tough teams. We have a lot. I said
well,
it
you said
tough.
Playoff. Okay. Well, you meant tough teams. Okay, cool. Well, then tough team. Yeah, there's a lot of teams.
I said as it gets going later, it gets tougher.
Okay, if you meant that, then yes, there is a lot of teams that you look at it like Cincinnati. That's going to be the tough matchup. We got to be real. Kansas City, that's going to be a tough matchup. 49ers, that's going to be a tough matchup.
The
Detroit
Chargers,
Lions, that's going to be a tough matchup.
Broncos, Bears.
The Bears are a tough matchup.
Yeah. No, tough matchup on paper. You talk about on paper, yeah.
On paper, yes.
But I will say this about the Broncos. I will say the Broncos, right? Because I started doing. Go back and watch the game. Oh, shut up! I'm getting back to the film breakdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know they were. I think it was 90% of the games they was trailing in them games.
Yes,
they end up pulling up, winning them.
Yep.
We saw what team have that in that same division have that same success, and it went the complete opposite the next season in Kansas City. So keep that in mind. Now they won a lot of games, but 90% of your games you're losing. You have to rely on either a comeback win or something like that. That's playing with fire.
But do you think that the Dolphins are the type of team that could put up points like that to where teams are like that scared, where they have to what's going to be
based on what I'm seeing? Yes, because if I'm being 100% honest, right? You got to understand, just because they have bad drives, every team do. That don't take away from the good drive that they're going to have. So, and then like just because, like I was saying with on 11s, how many times did Jaden Daniels actually get the football in the end zone? If them turn out to be field goals, then what are we really doing here? Those are close games.
Right.
And you see A-Chan getting in the end zone when it counts the most. Because one constant that I seen coming out of camp is towards the end is when you start seeing the Dolphins having success. And towards the ends is when all of the 11-on-11s started happening.
Okay.
So
I real quick, I just want to make sure, Tone, you said as of today, right now, you're still holding firm and standing firm on 8 to 10 wins, right?
Yeah, 8 to 10, yeah.
Okay. And a guy that we all respect up here, a brother of ours, right?
Shout out to the gated community.
Shout out to the gated community. Listen, I love this brother right here.
Some of us, Vonjo, some of us.
He says, yeah, I'm still on 10 wins. So obviously he's holding that same energy as well. Instead of talking for the next 30 to 45 seconds to maybe a minute, I just want to talk in a different way to my brother Tone and Vonjo.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Wow.
Bullshit!
You know what, Tone?
That game too.
Tone, you know what? Tone. Please Because I mean, I don't know how it gets. I mean, it's supposed to get better, right? This team is supposed to get better, right?
What's supposed to get better?
This team is supposed to get better. It's supposed to get
Yeah,
better.
improve. You mean like improving?
Yeah,
Yeah,
improve.
offensive line wise, yes, they
Yeah,
have to improve.
absolutely. You know what, Tom?
We have a bet.
Mike Best said something very interesting to me. Tone is like how I would be if I was good at debating.
Yes,
Mike Best, if you want to be like Tone in debating, pick a point, stick to it, have something to back it up.
It got to be facts, though. It got to be facts.
Right.
Yeah. See, people can't do facts because everything I'm saying is based on facts.
I said have something to back it up, right? Have something to back it up. That would have to be facts. Yeah, but some people
can back it up with BS.
Right?
You know how that goes.
Right. Tone's point is extremely valid, right? If HN can score the ball, I don't expect teams to score on us every drive, right? If we're holding teams to field goals, right? Cool. The point about that is like, and this is just my question, right? HN is what we're relying on to score points. Great person to have, right? One of the best weapons to have on your team, right? Bar none, right? Bar none.
Yeah.
HN respectfully is not scoring a touchdown on every drive. No. What I'm projecting is, because believe me, like some of the highest scores in the NFL respectfully have been field goal kickers. We won a game by kicking field goals against your team. So
okay. We went ugly.
Okay, let me finish because I didn't interrupt when you were doing your whole spiel. Don't okay and write it off. Let me get there. If a team can make more field goals and get more points that way than we do by getting touchdowns, because we understand it's not going to be every drive, we might be able to get field goals and all that, right? Cool. My point is this: how do we consistently score points? And how do we, in good faith, seeing what we saw today, stop teams from passing on us? Oh, I guess Chop is just going to get a sack every drive. No, it's not going to happen. Teams are going to adjust for that. And when you have quarterbacks of some of the likes that we're going to be facing who have experience, it's going to be very interesting to see these teams that have chemistry, that have wide receiving cores, go up against this young and inexperienced secondary. So it sounds great. It sounds nice. 10 wins will be amazing. I would love it. It's a fool's paradise. Let's call it what it is. If this team gets the 10 wins, well then listen, we have found the voodoo, we have found the hoodoo in Miami. Whatever y'all Santarias and all that have done and casted every spell, and I don't even believe in that. I believe in nothing but the blood of Jesus Christ, and I will admit that right here, right now. But ain't no way. 10 wins, Tone, like literally, like.
Let me ask you a question. Since you had to ask me a question,
keep that same energy when we do our final prediction.
We already got a bet. Let me ask you a question, because it's good to say a lot of stuff, but you just said a bunch of nothing. I asked you a bunch of questions. I asked you one simple question.
Yeah.
How many times did Jaden Daniels get the football in the end zone with all them nice passes, with all them nice throws? Notice what was coming out. The common denominator is when they got into the red zone, defense clamped down. And that's why I said
that's what you expect from our defense throughout the season.
I'm just going based on what the reports was. If we're going to based on what we seen, hold on. You said after what you saw today.
Yes.
Right. So what from not what we saw, but we heard. It basically understand what we heard. I'm listening to everything, not just what one person say. Okay, cool. He had a nice throw in the middle of the field. Okay, he had a nice 15-yard completion. But when you get in the red zone, you hear, oh, he had a missed throw right here. Oh, they stopped him at the 1 yard line, the 5 yard line. But overall, he had a great day. You got to be able to put the football in the end zone to put teams away.
Absolutely.
That's all I was saying. But you know who on 11 was getting the ball in the end zone consistently? Malik Willis. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, Tone, I'm sorry. I'm revisiting our schedule because that's all I can do. I don't see Jaden based off today. I don't see Jaden Daniels on our schedule, and I don't see the Washington Commanders on our schedule. So just because we were able to stop them does not mean we're gonna be able to stop the other teams. We have to go out there and prove.
That's a formidable foe, though.
Huh?
That's a good measurement. That's a formidable foe. That's a good measurement stick.
Okay, that is a good measuring stick. I love that. I love that that is your measuring stick. The Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
The Washington
right.
Commanders
Went
is
to
your
the
measuring
NFC Championship game. Are we crazy
2
right
years ago.
Right, but Jaden Daniels was
What
injured.
have you done? Okay, but what
He
have
was
you?
injured last year.
And we don't know what Jaden Daniels is going to look like in the season. We can
But I saw
project.
that. Well, we saw
We
this
can-
trajectory.
we-
We saw
we
this
can
trajectory happen, and we saw
We can,
what
yeah,
it
we've
yielded.
seen a lot of quarterbacks with trajectory, and then it's like, what
No,
happened?
no, no. But we didn't see that we didn't see a lot of quarterbacks take their team to an NFC Championship game based on their trajectory. We didn't see that.
But Tone, there's guys who get to championship games, get to Super Bowls, and never make it back.
But their teams still be good though. But they still have good teams. How many teams went to a
this is a
championship?
vanilla practice. They didn't even throw everything. They didn't throw the whole book at us. Like realistically,
We didn't throw the whole book at them either.
They didn't. Exactly, and that's fine.
Go
But that's
both
what I'm
ways.
saying. In the season, when the book is open, and we're going against teams that are going to throw everything at us, everything that we can handle. We are a young, inexperienced team. Let's call it what it is. If we shock the world, then we shock the world. It happens. There are outliers.
The Commanders was a young, inexperienced team.
As I said, it happens. It's an anomaly. It's an outlier. I'm saying it can happen, but the likelihood of it happening, absolutely not. When you say the Commanders are your measuring stick, I see a Bears team that I think is better than them. I see a Packers team that
You think Chicago Bears is better than Washington Commanders? Okay.
That's my opinion. I like Caleb Williams.
That is your opinion.
I think that they're going to be better, respectfully.
Well, if you said a quarterback that had to work miracles,
off of that injury.
If we talk about anomalies, you talk about anomalies, and you're going to call out a team that the quarterback had to work miracles with some of the most iconic.
And he
comebacks.
showed the ability to consistently
But you hopping on him doing that
do
again.
it again. But as of right now, how I feel,
so Jaden Daniels can't do it.
I think the
but
Green Bay
Caleb Williams
Packers
can.
are better than the Commanders.
So
I think
Jaden
the
Daniels can do it.
Will be better than the Commanders.
Right, cool.
I think the Bills are better than the Commanders. Oh, let's keep
we
going.
blew them out
it.
with two.
I think the Lions will be better than the Commanders.
They didn't make a play.
Huh?
They didn't make a
if you're
playoff.
going to listen, not every team makes the playoffs every year, and neither did the Washington Commanders.
I mean, but
if that is your measuring stick, that they didn't make the playoffs, well, the Dolphins didn't make the playoffs, so they shouldn't be that good. Respectfully,
right? So we on the same even
play.
So
we on
we on the same playing field.
Last time,
I mean,
go ahead.
if you know, if you want to give them credit for the time that they were good, I'm going to tell you the time that they were bad. It goes both ways.
Consideration, and I'm saying right now, I think they're better.
The team that you said is better than them. We
don't even know what the Commander team is going to look like. We haven't seen Jaden on the field.
We don't know what Detroit going to look like.
Huh?
We don't know what Detroit going to look like.
We don't. But you know what I do know?
I the same thing.
I do know Amon-Ra St. Brown is probably going to stack 100 on us. And that might be in the first half. That's what I don't know that. That's what I
100 yards. 100 yards in the first half.
I said that's what I expect. It's going to be close. If they decide to just go to him, it could be matchups. But like I said, we got to scheme against that. We got to make them go to somewhere else. But I do understand that there's other answers like Sam Laporta. There's also a Jahmyr Gibbs that's an answer. There's also a Jamison Williams that's an answer.
With all them players, they won 6 games. They won 7 games with all those players.
Oh, absolutely. They had a fall off year. Not every team goes out and plays and wins consistently every single year.
But the Dolphins don't consistently be bad though. That only applies to other teams, not the Dolphins, right?
Did I say that we were consistently bad?
No, but I'm saying so I can say that they can win though. If you could use that excuse for them not always going to be consistently good, then I can say the same thing to the Dolphins that we can't because we don't know what the Dolphins team is going to be.
Trying to make it something that I didn't say.
No, I'm saying I didn't say you said. I say I'm using it.
I talked about the personnel. I talked about the personnel that we would have to have answers for.
And the same thing, we don't know what they is.
Are they scared of outside of Achane?
I know what Achane is. I know what he is.
Outside of Achane, who are they scared of? But like I said, they have multiple things that we have to find answers for.
No one was scared of Denver. No one was scared of Denver until they won 14 games.
Huh?
No one was scared of Denver until they won 14 games.
Yeah, and they shocked.
No one was scared of the Patriots until they won 14 games.
And they shocked. They have to go out and show that they can do that again because that was the same team. But you're putting all of this, you're literally saying that a team that lacks chemistry, listen, I can see it. They also said respectfully, they also said respectfully on paper, we're not going to get into it, that the Patriots had a cakewalk to it. But you know what? I don't believe that because I believe if you're an NFL team, you go out there and you compete and we're going to see at the end of the day what the results are. But to my point, when you say, oh, they did this in the red zone, like let's get back to the main point. All I said was they're not playing the Washington Commanders every week. The Washington Commanders didn't show us everything they could have thrown at us.
Yeah, but it go both ways,
they're
though.
working on things. We're working on things.
That go both ways.
And listen.
So we only could go off what we saw.
Cute. And it's not even cute.
But hold on.
Great.
Let me ask you a question. Didn't you say after what you saw today
on 11 so what's the name? But how are we still going to say, you know what? They weren't able to do nothing against us in the red zone, but yet they still want to practice, even though we just up in the red zone. It's a whole thing.
Because you got to take the whole
right,
thing.
I said it's a whole thing.
Okay,
so as a team, respectfully, they look better than us, right? They look better than us.
Yes.
They look better. So you want to tell me,
who scored the most touchdowns?
No. You want to tell me respectfully that a team that competed, right? I think some people said it was like 60-40. It wasn't like
you get 60-40, yes. Yeah,
right?
That was
they didn't
consistent.
They didn't go out there and spank us, right? Respectfully. Yeah. Let's put that into context. And I love that. I love that this team, and that's why I said I expect this team to compete. I expect this team to be in some of these games. I'm not saying like, oh, this team is going to be the worst thing we ever seen out on the field.
Never said you said that.
Right. I'm saying that. I'm not saying that. I never said that you said that. I said that. I want that to be clear.
But you are going based off what happened today, though, right? You're going based off what happened today.
I'm going I said they should improve, right? And I made that caveat.
But you also asked me how can I see 10
did
games?
Did I not say they should improve? I said they should improve.
Well, I'm saying you also asked me how do I see them winning 10 games after what I saw today. So I was So I was telling you why after what I seen today, why I still have the stance on 8 to 10 games. Because the same way you can say overall, we have seen countless amount of times of teams going out there be like, man, this team has been dominant, but they're not finishing, and that eventually cost them the game. So it don't matter if you kill me from 20 to 20, but when you get into the red zone, if you can't turn those into touchdowns, that's how teams get beat, even though you dominated in yardage or time of possession, but you end up not winning the game. So if I'm going based off what I seen today, not based off what the schedules that could possibly have, like if we did this against the Chiefs and when we stopped the Chiefs, then I would go based off what I seen from the Chiefs. Your question to me was, after what I seen today, how can I still have that stance? And then these are the reasons why I have that stance. Because what I seen today is the team that was killing it from 20 to 20, did not finish once they got in the red zone. And the team that wasn't killing it for 20 to 20, when they got their opportunities on the little opportunities that they got, they finished with touchdowns. So if you get in that red zone 4 times, and you give me 4 field goals, and I only get in that red zone 2 times, but I give you 2 touchdowns, I beat you by 2 points. Because it's 14-12. So that's my whole premise. If you say why based on what I seen today, that's why I say, oh yeah, because I saw a team that one finish and the other one didn't. That was my whole argument
absolutely.
Based off today.
And then I said, luckily, not luckily, but the fact of the matter is, I said you're using Washington you said that you're using Washington as a measure.
Because it's based off today, yeah.
Based off of today, right? And I said, well, based off of that, yeah, if we played Washington 17 times or even 1 time, we could say that. But we also have to put the premise of they weren't throwing everything out at us. So them being able to do that, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, because I do understand that some of these red zone defenses, again, they're working on stuff. It was nice that we finished off with touchdowns, but it's practice, and it's against a team, respectfully, that I don't even see him being top 2 in a division. But it is what it is. You said that's your measuring stick. If that's your measuring stick, then yeah,
that's what we have to go off. Like I can't. It's crazy.
I finish? When you speak, I really.
Oh, I thought you.
I don't interject. I sit back. I listen. Respectfully, I've gotten better at this. I literally tell myself, don't say nothing. I'll be like, nope, don't say nothing. Let them get there. Let them finish. I'm saying, if that is your measuring stick, from what we saw, them saying, hey, our offensive line didn't look good, right? I'm taking that into consideration. Them saying our secondary didn't look good, I'm taking that into consideration. And that's why I said, oh, defensive line, linebackers, okay, we can stop the run against a team that doesn't have a top running back. Cool. What am I supposed to give them popcorn for that? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, respectfully, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, okay, I'm happy. I'm happy that our linebackers and defensive line showed something. But when I'm looking, once again, at some of these teams, yeah, they did not do well. Yeah, but we understand that most of these teams that we are going to be going up against, their bread and butter is not necessarily the run game. It's some of these quarterbacks. But it is what it is. It was a great conversation. It'll be interesting to see what the secondary does. And listen, I'll be very interested every week to see how we improve. Because I do believe, like I said, this team is going to compete. We're going to be in some of these games. But hey, I mean, I guess me saying that as a caveat means that, like, I don't know, like, oh my gosh, like the world, like, oh, okay, cool. If we're in some of the games, that means either we're stopping them or we're, scoring in some type of way. I just don't think we're going to be better than these teams. But hey, shout out to the Washington Commanders for keeping it 60-40. No. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins for finding a way to edge out 40%.
Done.
Oh yeah, I stopped talking. That would
okay.
So being done. Yeah.
I would just say I just noticed one thing.
Mm-hmm.
When the Dolphins struggled against them,
Mm-hmm.
that you use that as a counterpart to say that these other teams on the schedule, they're not going to be able to do that with them. But when the Dolphins were good against them and successful against them, you just turn around and say, well, they're not going to play them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying we got to. All I just ask is keep the same energy. If we can't judge them off them struggling against them, because at the end of the day, guess what? Kansas City might don't have their defense is probably not going to be the same. So we don't know that. Their offense, we don't know what Patrick Mahomes is going to look like. You get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is the same way I just went based off this game and how they performed in this game. If I'm gonna give them credit for stopping them in the red zone. And I'm also going to give the Commanders credit for being able to get through 20-20 and be able to drive the ball. I can't then turn around and say, well, Kansas City is not them or Detroit is not them because, that's a different team. Understandably, that's cool. We can say that for anything. But if you say based off what you've seen today, I just don't think they're going to be able to do that against other teams. And I'm like, then where is the measuring stick there? Because if you see something that you think they successful at against Washington, we can't use that against the measuring stick for other teams. But because the offensive line struggled against Washington, we could use that as a measuring stick against Kansas City or the other teams. That's not keeping the same energy.
Wait, run that back one more time.
So if you can say that just because we stopped the Commanders in the red zone, that don't mean they're going to be able to do that against other teams. But based on the offensive line struggling, this is what you said, the offensive line struggles and all that, well, then we have Kansas City and all that. You could use that as a measuring stick for other teams. But those other teams are not Washington Commanders. So we don't know if our offensive line going to struggle against those other teams. We don't know if they're going to struggle against Kansas City D-line. We don't know if they're going to struggle against Detroit D-line. We don't know that because we haven't seen them play because none of those teams are the Washington Commanders. So that's what I was saying. If you're going to use that argument, then what you're doing is you're stacking the deck with like, I'm only going to use what they did negative on this team and say that they other teams are going to be better. But then when I pointed out what they did positive on that team, you're going to say, well, those other teams are not this team. That's not a fair assessment because that's changing. That's moving the goalposts. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can measure them struggling, then we should be able to measure them being positive as well. So that's why I said I was just only going off what they did with the Commanders. So if that's the pedigree of the team, cool. I'll take that and say bend but don't break. We've seen these defense all the time. Bend but don't break, and teams win like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole premise of why today, based off that, I'm still gonna keep my stance because of how my team performed today. In the most important situations, because I've been saying this the whole time. I've never changed how I felt. Okay, y'all did amazing in 7-on-7, but I'm judging you so majority on how you look on 11-on-11s. And that's when we started to see the tables and the ties turn when we went to 11 on 11s. And I'm like, well, that holds more weight than what they were doing on individual drills and 7-on-7s. To me, that's just me how I assess the team.
Yeah, and I think that's why I, said shout out to our defensive line and linebackers for showing up. I think that was me pointing out a good area, but also mentioning that there is technically real life concerns for our secondary. I did also state that HN, we know what to expect from HN. So I mean, I did point out the positive of the teams, hence why my whole caveat has always been I expect this team to compete. I do not expect this team to say die. I expect this team to be in these games. So I think I think I'm not saying that you're saying it, but you're making it seem like I'm not expecting this team to be in these games when I said it countless amount of times that I expect them to be in this game. However, when you say keep the same energy, oh yeah, absolutely. Every defensive line, every offensive line on every team is 100% 100% different, and it'll be different matchups and different looks every week. And I think that's why when I spoke mainly about the secondary, I talked about the wide receiving core that we would have to face. And I mean, we kind of toned in on the Detroit Lions, and I said, well, we have to find answers for this and this and this and this. So I think when it's taken, out of this context, I'm just saying respectfully, like I said, I'm praying that I'm wrong about this team. But shout out once again to the Miami Dolphins getting 40%. Shout out to Malik Willis for finding ways to make plays, utilizing his legs like we expect him to. Let me get on this this positive train. Shout out to Devon Achane. I think Hafley said, he's going to get a lot of touches. So shout out to him for carrying the team this season. Appreciate that. Right now, shout out to Jordan Brooks and Jacob Rodriguez and Zeke and Chop and, all these guys that are just, going to be out there and showing us, what real Miami Dolphins football looks like this year. I'm definitely looking forward to every Sunday and seeing what the results are. And you know what? I really hope that we are one of these outlier anomaly teams that, shock the world. And I think, when you spew that, it's cool, it's interesting, but we'll see. Lou, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just listening. Y'all know me. And it's the same way if me and Tone get into it, Finsanity, I've seen you do it. Me and you have a conversation, Finsanity, Tone kind of gets out the way. So I was just listening and letting y'all, do y'all thing. So, but yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, great debate with Tone. That was really amazing, Tone. I really appreciated your point of view and your perspective on this team. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it come to fruition.
No, you're not, because you have to do the ice bucket challenge if it does.
And that's nothing but ice. That's ice and water. That's nothing to me. That's ice and water. That's ice and water. That's ice and water. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nothing. It's ice and water. What is what? You think like realistically, you think that I would much rather not have to pour ice and water over my head and be like, okay, my team lost and deal with that, or having to throw ice and water over my head and be like, my team won and be happy about that. Like, don't let Lou come up here and say I'm a real fan, and then you like, oh no, like you're worried about ice and water. Like that's the punishment, ice and water. Like, oh my gosh, there's something called a heated blanket, Pour the ice and water over my head, get the heated blanket, and we're straight. I would very much love for this to be a chilly fall and winter for me. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but I would be out. You would see a smile on my face every single time that water and ice was about to what's the name. I would be overjoyed. I would be overjoyed to do it every week. Every week that I have to do it, you will see a smile on my face because that means my team won. And as long as they're winning, I'm happy. I'm very much happy. But like I said, sometimes you prepare yourself. I'm preparing for the worst. I'm preparing, yeah, for the worst, but hoping for the best. There we go. Hoping for the best, but preparing and expecting the worst. So,
Shout out. I didn't see my dog David. I know he's been working for a while. Um, just for y'all to know, and I'm gonna say it loud too. Y'all double down on my bet. So David wanted to get into the bet too when I told him the bet that I had. So he said he'll take that too. So I said, cool. He said he would actually come over here every day and do the ice bucket challenge. So if every game that we lose, I'm gonna do it twice. One for Cindy and one for David. Every game that we win, every game that we win, Cindy got to drop that ice on her head, and David got to drop that ice on his head. I'm standing 10 toes on mine, man. I don't know how y'all do y'all. I'm standing 2 toes on mine. You hear me? So yeah.
okay, so listen.
Yeah.
Like I told you, go get to our ice supplier. Go get someone, get a wholesale supply.
Hey man,
put it in those deep freezers, and you'll be straight for the season.
You just folded and switched to my side, man.
I didn't. I didn't fold and switch to your side at all. I'm giving you what you want. I'm giving the people what they want. But I know how I feel under 4.5, and I stand on that.
I said, sound like earlier. No, Mike, I got it. You got to make your own bets, Mike. But I got it.
I literally said I expect them to be not to do it, not to win these games, be close, compete, but not to win. So that means I stayed on my side. I don't know what you talk about. That's how I finished my thing off. Active listening, active listen. No, you be listening. You be listening.
I'll offer to say, don't make me tell you how you just switched the whole conversation. If you want to say active listening.
No, what I said was, you know what? I'm going to do what y'all want. I didn't switch my argument. I'm just saying if you want to play it by that way, then cool. Let's play it by that way. But the way that I feel, the way that I think, and what I expect, I'm not saying I'm gonna be right. I hope I'm wrong. I can be wrong. I am known for being wrong. I'm cool with that. Am I wrong all the time? No, but I've been wrong about some things. But everybody has been wrong. No one bats 100. No one in life bats 100. But one thing is, I can hold myself accountable when I don't. But I'm also the type of person where I don't necessarily be like, oh, we're like that. I'm like, nah, I'll be like, I give y'all more props than I've ever given. Like, you give me props on certain things, but like, I've never did the toot. I've never. And so I want you to know this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It will bring me so much. It would break my heart to have to watch you pour that ice water on your head. It would break my heart. Because
hey, man, I don't like this level. Listen, I don't need you to be on my side.
I'm not on your side. I'm on
your side, man. I got this. I can handle this.
4.5. Me and Lou on this side.
I want you to smile when I'm putting that ice on my challenge. I mean, I don't want you to be mad that we lost, but be glad that you won a bet. That's how I want. I want you to be mad that we lost, but happy. You know what I'm saying? So
why that's the thing. People just think that's what it's all about. To me, it's not about that. Because my heart's breaking if the team is losing. My heart is happy when the team is winning. I'm a diehard fan,
But that's what I just said.
Yeah. It won't break my Gay boy. Yo. Gay boy. Yeah.
All right. Listen, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Lou, you got anything for Sandy if she want to switch on my side, man? I like it nice.
I would never.
Nah, listen, I ain't got none. Hopefully the team at the end of the day, from what we heard today about all reports, we see a better showing on Friday, man. That's what ultimately what this thing is about. You get reps, you have days, and you learn from it, and you get better from it. So the next time we see the Dolphins is Friday, Tone and Finsanity, and hopefully when we watch them on Friday, they're better or they have a better showing or output than they had today. That's ultimately what we all want. Get better every day that you're on the field.
I echo those sentiments right there for sure. Of course, yeah, but Mike Best said we got 50 likes, show pretty good. Yeah, yeah, 50 likes. Shout out that if you haven't like hit the like button, hit the like button. Um, listen, man, we only could take what we heard from the outside, beat reporters with a grain of salt. If y'all thought that's all it was gonna take for me to turn forward on mine, y'all know what time it is when we get over here. I could tell you the real, even reading between the lines. Trust me. But outside of that, man, I ain't got nothing for said. You got anything else?
Great show.
Yeah,
Focus
great show.
debate hard.
No, no, one person debated hard. Lou, you want to get us out of here?
It wasn't you.
I'll take that answer.
Hey man, listen. This has been the Wednesday episode of the Blitz Pickup Joint Practice Edition with the Washington Commanders. The next time you will see my brother, my sister, and myself will be Friday. We are going live. We have decided as a collective over here um, that a special start time Friday, 7 Eastern, 7 o'clock Eastern for the first preseason game of our beloved Miami Dolphins versus the Washington Commanders. You can watch it here with us live. So again, for my brother, for my sister, for myself, this has been the Wednesday episode. We will see y'all Friday. Um, Halfley didn't talk today after the practice. But Dan Quinn did. Dan Dan Quinn did though, the head coach from the Commanders. And I'm gonna end the show with this again. I don't know how we do this, Tone Finsanity. We always get breaking news over here, and it came across my screen. Y'all be well, man. We'll see y'all Friday. Listen to what Dan Quinn said after the day's joint practice.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Cap.